Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton and I'm bringing to you our West Ham Daily for the 30th of March. It's been a while since I've done a live, so I hope you're all well. Get your comments in. Let's engage. Let's have a chat and talk all things West Ham. If you are new around here, of course, go and hit that cheeky subscribe button on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, and beside that, there's a little bell notification that will notify you when our shows do go live, and that will keep you up to date with everything that goes on. We've got loads of stuff coming out for you, as we always do. We've got the Hammers headlines coming out at 5 p.m. today. We discuss Areola and a few other players that are potential incomings and outgoings. Tonight, you have to come and join us. You have to. There is no ifs or buts about it at all. Let me just get this prepared for you. Tony Carr is joining us live on the channel. West Ham and me, you've got a fantastic opportunity to come in and talk to the man himself, Mr. West Ham Academy. You can ask him questions and he will be answering them live. So make sure you do join us for that. What a great guest to have on. What a fantastic guest to have on. And then obviously, West Ham are coming off the back of international week, which has seen several West Ham players perform for the club over many international games. Of course, we've seen Declan Rice come on yesterday and play for England, and what a fantastic player he is, and we'll be talking about him very shortly. 8 West Ham players had been performing in the international break. We saw three of our players involved in non-competitive fixtures, with one playing an African qualification for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. We've seen 3 Academy of Football products involved in the under-21s championship qualifiers, and another featuring in the under-20 league fixture. Tommy Soucek scored a goal, his 9th international goal for the Czech Republic, as they drew 1-1 with Wales, which was a great result and a great result for Tommy Soucek and his team, and good for him to get on the score sheet again. If you're going to have to take a positive from the international week, having a player, of course, score a goal and hopefully bring that momentum into the league form as we come into the game for the weekend. Declan Rice, like I said, had his 29th cap for England, playing the full 90 minutes for England as we dominated over Ivory Coast, beating them 3-0 at Wembley. Vlasic was another West Ham player to taste victory in a non-competitive action. He had his 35th cap for Croatia, a 2-1 win over Bulgaria as well. So that was really good to see him play there. Areola was not given an outing for the France team, as France won 5-0 in their win over South Africa in France. Arthur Masuaku and Congo failed to reach the 2022 World Cup finals after falling to a 4-1 defeat in the third round at Morocco versus Morocco as well. Saeed Ben Rama and Algeria also suffered World Cup heartbreak as they slipped out at the second leg defeat to Cameroon on away goals as well. In the under-21 European Championships, Ben Johnson, fantastic performance from him, made his under-21s debut with a sure display in a 3-0 win over Albania, which was fantastic to see, and he's absolutely deserved it. Mipo Odebiku, currently on loan, he made his under-21 international debut for Republic of Ireland alongside academy teammate Connor Coventry, and they had a 2-0 win over Sweden to keep their hopes of reaching the 2023 Euro Championships alive. And then finally, player that I love, Alessi, played the final 10 minutes of England's under-20s 3-1 win over Germany in the 21-22 Elite League for England as well. So, a whole host of international players for West Ham, things you love to see, and hopefully they can bring that form moving forward as we go along. But today's show is all about Deckers, Declan Rice. Will he stay? Will he go? The saga continues. Will he sign a contract? Will he not? And I'm putting the title there. Declan Rice is going nowhere, because why would he? It's as simple as that. And former West Ham striker and current West Ham Academy coach, and you need to remember that, current West Ham Academy coach Carlton Cole is adamant Deckers is going to stay with the club beyond the end of the season, and he even backed West Ham to go above and finish above, Declan Rice's club suitors, Manchester United, in the Premier League. And a West Ham, according to reports, have slapped a £150 million price tag on the 23-year-old, who is already subject to an intense transfer battle prior to the window opening in June. Man United are reportedly leading suitors of Rice as they look to replace Paul Pogba, who will leave Old Trafford for free in the transfer window. Chelsea have also been in the hunt, but are now, as it stands, unable to buy players due to the government sanctioning over Roman Abramovich. But speaking at a recent event, Cole backed David Moyes' men to, finish above Manchester United, an achievement which the 38-year-old Carlton Cole believes would be at the end of the conversation around Declan Rice's club's future. Let me kind of put on here what he actually said. He said, "Where is he going? I just can't see him going anywhere, and clubs affording the price. I don't think Chelsea can do it at the moment for obvious reasons for this season. Where else is he going to go? Man United? No, they're not in a good place. They're not in a good place at the moment either. Why go to Man United when you can stay at West Ham?" I completely agree with what he's saying there. He goes on and he says, "You will finish above Man United. And then what are we going to say then? Nothing. You just can't go and get our best players. We'll finish above Man United and no one is going to say anything. He's going to stay at the best club possible." He goes on and he says, especially if they bring somebody else that complements his style, that talking about, West Ham bringing on and bringing in, recruits in the summer. You've got Tommy Soucek there, bringing in another striker to add to that. And all of this conversation will be done at the end of the season. So, he says, I don't see the reason why Rice would want to leave. He's not the sort of guy that's going to be chasing after money. Otherwise, he'd have done that by now. He knows his home truths. He knows exactly what he needs to do, and that is to play regular football. And he's doing that at West Ham, and he is the main man. And he absolutely is the main man at West Ham. Of course he is. He's developed into one of the most consistent players in the Premier League in recent seasons, helping us to challenge for Champions League qualification, reach the Europa League quarterfinals, while featuring heavily for England's run to Euro 2020 final last summer, but also, featuring in England's main, becoming a main starter for them, being a forefront, forefront of England's central midfield. He has completed all this at the age of 23 and whilst playing at West Ham. And you can't help but think, should we bring in further recruits to complement him? As Cole has said, that will only but be advantageous in terms of keeping Declan Rice in our wings. If Rice was to leave in the summer with only 4 months to go to the World Cup, what would that do for his consistency? Because he is playing in a consistent level week in and week out. And we've seen many big transfer deals take place over the years that have always taken time for players to adapt to a new club. It just quite simply makes no sense for him to leave so soon. When you put into the equation the Qatar World Cup, please, you have to put it into the equation. Rice is performing at the top of his game. And of course, I don't doubt it for a second. Assurances from players coming in, who's going to come in the door? Will they complement the style of play? Will we push on again as a club? That is going to be the pivotal reasoning why he stays or goes from this club. But you look at players like Grealish, and some of these players have struggled to get going. If they come with a hefty price tag, what if he makes the move and he doesn't play week in and week out? I think he would at any club. I don't want him to go. Of course I don't. But yeah, I just think it would be a really silly time to be looking at it. And Rice, he's widely regarded to be one of the very best in his specific position in world football, and that is not even a remote exaggeration. West Ham fans have known that for quite some time, and it seems as though those outside the London Stadium are starting to catch on from it. Every week, it seems to be another pundit, another ex-pro, someone crawls out from underneath the woodwork and admits that they got it wrong with their judgment or their initial verdicts on Deckers. He's a sensational footballer. He really, really is. I speak to so many people about him and they're like, is he that good? I went to the Manchester United at Old Trafford. I was with some Manchester United friends and they just couldn't see what it was, but they were just looking at all the wrong elements of his game. They were looking at all the wrong elements of the game. They didn't actually see the positive that he was doing, that we can see, and what he brings to a side. He drives forward, he shuts up shop, he covers so much ground. And he's been a standout performer in the Premier League and in Europe this season. And let's just hope that the West Ham owners can show some form of ambition in the transfer market, real ambition in the transfer market this summer, that will help West Ham convince Declan Rice to remain in East London for at least a few more years. But I really honestly can see him staying a little bit longer, not leaving this summer. And other people are coming out of the woodwork, and players that we know. Julian Dix recently at the same event with Carlton Cole has said that he's championed the club's hopes of holding on to the Declan Rice. I mean, he was part and parcel of the team under Slaven Bilic, who awarded Declan Rice his first team debut when obviously he came on as a sub against Burnley. But he has warned the club's owners that he'll only stick around if there's significant investment into the squad, especially in the up-and-coming transfer window. He said, I'd like to think so. West Ham convinced him to stay. He said, he's a great kid. For me, it's about Mr. Golden, Mr. Sullivan investing in the team for next season, because it can't be about money for these players now. It's about moving clubs to win trophies. So West Ham need to invest heavily and bring in some top players to build a team around Declan and one or two others. If they're willing to do that, I can see Declan staying. He loves the club. So now it's about winning trophies. It's about trying to win the Premier League. People might laugh at me, but no one expected Leicester to win that. So there's no reason why West Ham can't do that in the next 2 or 3 seasons. People aren't going to hang around for 7 seasons. People like Declan are going to want to be progressing and be in the Champions League, but can only do that with big investment. And it's so true what he's saying. Goes on and he says, West Ham are a great club with great tradition, and hopefully the glory days aren't far from coming back. And then, on top of that, even David Moyes is admitting that West Ham need to win trophies in order to keep Declan Rice on the books. West Ham need to bring in good players and win trophies to keep a hold of the star. And he had recently done an interview with The Athletic where Alan Shearer asked Moyes, do you need to win trophies to keep the players? And he replied, yeah, we probably do, yeah. So we've got to keep driving it on. I have to keep driving and demanding that we keep moving on and being positive on our outlook and where we're going to be. I need to keep adding good players, which is part of the club's responsibility to keep with it. But the good thing is we've got him for another 3.5 years in his contract until June 2024 with the option of an additional year. So we're not under pressure from that end. We would love him to stay. He's so important to us. But like everything else, we have to show that we can do it as well at West Ham. And it's so bloody true as well. When you listen to David Moyes, we do as a club have to, build everything around this guy and show the intent to push on. And unless or until either a transfer happens or Rice commits his future to West Ham, this question is never, ever going to go away. You could say the failure to strengthen in January looked at the time to have put the writings on the wall for the hopes of success this season and the chances of the game day captain leaving the club. But Moyes certainly seems to think that the challenge of quality signings and winning trophies is one that spans past the summer, despite the Rice speculation. But the club is on a special run in the Europa League, and the dream scenario of a trophy and Champions League qualification is not off the table, which could immediately change the scenario. Moyes went on to say things like to West Ham, let's be fair, every manager wants to win a trophy. We're no different. I look more at how we're going to continue to try and build the club and keep getting closer to winning trophies. We're on a good track at the moment, but the next couple of years will be an important time. We're trying to build a team that's getting stronger. We've made swift move towards the top end of the Premier League. We're all involved in Europe. We've had a decent run in the Carabao Cup, and we're trying to get a good run. I did have, or try and have a good run in the FA Cup as well. The club's doing a really good job. We want to be in and more around the cup competitions, but even through history, it's been top teams who have tended to win the competitions. So we have to try and get over ourselves in a position where we've got more chance of reaching the semi-finals and finals and hopefully winning them all as well. Moyes has pushed all the West Ham boys to be competitive in every single competition that West Ham have been in this season, and the season isn't even over yet. We have the opportunity to top off this season with silverware, which you can't deny every single West Ham player deserves in the squad, including us fan base. We've been waiting for bloody long for it. And it rides on the Europa League. It really does. And it's imperative that the boys give all in those games. Top four would be great, but there is no doubt that we'll take the battle down to the wire. I don't doubt that for a second, that we're going to take the battle down to the wire, but nothing would beat a trophy. So the question is, Declan Rice is going nowhere. Why would he? Why would Deckers go somewhere in the summer? Because add into the equation your weekly salary. If you're going to triple your weekly salary, is that enough to take you in a World Cup year when you know that if you go on to have a fantastic World Cup and West Ham don't progress, then after the World Cup, the world is your oyster? I just think, I think the World Cup is the thing that holds Declan Rice at West Ham. And we'll go from there. But I'm going to jump in the chat, have a look and see what everyone's saying, and we'll go from there as well. Is Anderson, hope the title was right. Listen, Declan Rice going nowhere. Why would he? I mean, it's literally there as it says on the tin. Mythic Gainer is saying, come on, you Irons. Hope you are well. James is in the house. Hope you're well, mate. Good to see you. Bosuzuku, hate international games so much, man. Yeah, I do struggle. I really do struggle with them. I think it's this whole kind of competitiveness, like playing. I don't know how they resolve it. I don't know how they resolve it, to be honest. Because it's kind of like a sure in that England, for example, will qualify. So I don't know. Sharky's in the house. Afternoon, Anton. Hope you're well, Sharky. Good to see you. Cheers all. Scott, thank you for joining. He's leaving, isn't he? You can admit it, Anton. But Sharky, again, I'm going to put the question to you and everyone who's watching in the show. Do you think Declan Rice will leave this summer? I'm not asking the question, do you think Declan Rice will leave West Ham, in its entirety in his career? I'm asking about this summer in particular. Once this season is done, will Declan Rice leave? The only telling points for this is if we don't win something, the last 8 games go dramatically wrong, and we don't invest in the summer, there's 3 things that have to go wrong for Declan Rice, in my opinion, to leave this summer. Sheena is saying, my will be happy with this if it's his 11th birthday. Sheena says, sorry, my son will be happy as it's his 11th birthday. Well, happy birthday to your son, Sheena, and many happy returns. Good afternoon, Anton, and all you happy hammers. Kimbo, good to see you. Buffalo Snowy 7. Is this Father Snowman? Hi, Anton, still banned on YouTube. So is this your new persona as well? So if it is, good to see you. Skipper, not only West Ham best player, but regularly now England's top performer. 100%, mate. He is. He's up there with one of the best, I could even go as far as saying one of the best players I've seen during my era at West Ham. And he could really go on to have that legendary status as well. But you can't fault the young lad. You can't fault him for wanting to better his career. But you want him to be able to better his career at West Ham. And silverware's key, investment's key. And that's all going to be telling things as well in the future. Stuart Key is saying, afternoon, Anton, hi, Kimbo, and all. Scott is saying, I will cry if he goes. But, contradictory point is that clubs should be able to learn how to sell their best players and progress better on without it. Leicester, maybe not this season, but when they sold some of their big players who won them the league, they invested well and progressed well as a club. So clubs, like every club, needs to be able to get rid of their best player and be able to perform and move on. You can't build your team around one player. We know how good Declan Rice is, but why would he leave? Why would he leave right now, especially in the current state of the season and where the situation is as well? David says, move to Man United in the next 18 to 24 months would simply be for money, as they're miles from challenging or even getting top 4. Would actually be as well going to Newcastle. David, I agree with that sentiment to a certain extent. Man United are miles away from the situation. It could be questionable where they are in terms of comparison to West Ham. But right now, the vital part is that we, as a club, need to hang on to our best players, the core players that are going to bring investment, that will attract players. People will be looking at West Ham and going, even the link with like the likes of Calvin Phillips, be looking at West Ham and be going, oh my God, Declan Rice is committing to the club. Like, I'll look at that young, enthusiastic England international. Yeah, I'll be interested in that. A young, enthusiastic, international who plays abroad will be looking at West Ham going, we all know who Declan Rice is. Most people look at West Ham and know who Declan Rice is. And that's going to help. Kimbo's in the house. Bobby's in the house. Afternoon all. Paul is saying he is going to Chelsea, not staying. Paul, well, you'll have to wait and see, Paul. There's no guarantees, mate. I can't see it. Not just from the fact that they've got their same situation happening this year, but the consistency for a player going into a World Cup year, you'll see in the Hammers headlines when I talk about Vlasic in a World Cup year and what his coach said about Vlasic. Will he stay? Will he go? And the lead up to the World Cup as well. David is saying, not sure Chelsea will be in a position to drop £100 million plus on players going forward, as we'll likely take a bath on Werner and Lukaku. Absolutely. Moby, can't lose Deck and Nobes in one season, would be gutting. You're absolutely right, mate. And because Noble is going, you can't help but think he'll be in his ear going, just give it another year. Give it another year. Go and be the club captain as a whole. I'll stay. I'll guide you. I'll stay in the background. I'll guide you through this whole process as much as you possibly can. But I completely believe that there is a future with this club, and you are going to be a big part of it. Peter saying players come on and players go. I support the team, not individual players. You're right, mate. But of course, you want the best for West Ham. You want the best for the players that we've got, and Declan is going to be pivotal to that as well. Absolutely. Sharky Anton is ignoring the chat. I am certainly not, mate. I am certainly not. Don't you worry about that. Paul is saying not interested in West Ham, wants to win something, not buying players, not good. Let him go. Just said goodbye. Will not be missed. Interesting. David is saying the World Cup and current situation at Man United and Chelsea will keep in at West Ham and the Champions League next season when we win the Europa League. I mean, if we do win that Europa League and we qualify for the Champions League, that just kind of adds that final nail into the situation and goes, you know what, he is going to stay and commit to the club, because the investment that comes into the club money-wise, we then have to put that investment out to bring players in, and that is key. James is saying, I don't think he'll go in the summer, not with Noble leaving. If he plans to, he might as well be put on the Chelsea Man United shirt now. Yeah, I kind of do agree with you as well, 100%. Southampton haven't done very well since they sold the likes of Manny and Van Dijk. The difference with the teams like Southampton are that Southampton haven't and didn't in recent years, when they had those players, perform at the level that West Ham were at. So the difference was that they were a mid-table club selling on their players for massive profits and building their squad to become like a real just like mid-table Premier League team. And this is what a lot of clubs do in the Premier League. And West Ham have kind of, West Ham have been relegated because we've tried too hard. And West Ham have over-succeeded when we haven't tried too hard. And right now, Moyes has brought in consistency to West Ham that I've not saw during my lifetime over the space of 2 seasons. So for me, if we can maintain that level where we're at, so we're not in the middle where Southampton are roundabout, we're just above there, and there's an opportunity for us to progress forward and get further forward, it would be fantastic. You're right, Peter. People are getting too cocky as if we are in the semis, and we're not. But the point of the matter is just to be in the quarterfinals alone. I didn't expect it. And the question I'll ask to you is, did you expect it in the chat? I certainly didn't expect West Ham to be in the situation that we are in come the end of March, coming into April, quarterfinals of the Europa League, still challenging for something form of Europe in the league. Balancing those competitions with a thin squad is very hard to do. Not many clubs of West Ham's stature and where we have been in the Premier League have gone on to do that quite successful. Many clubs have not made a success of it as well. No worries, Sharky boy. The only problem, as I feel, we would need to qualify for the Champions League in order to keep Declan. But then, Sharky, the question I'll ask to you is, if we don't qualify for the Champions League and we don't win the Europa League, why would Declan Rice go in the summer? It would only, for me, be the lack of investment. He's not been told the right things. He'll want assurances. Any player would want assurances. It doesn't matter. Like, as West Ham fans, as football fans, looking at West Ham, and even if you try and see a positive in the small squad that we've got, a nice bit of unity, all that sort of stuff, everyone loves a new face. It doesn't matter what, situation you're in, what job you're in, but in football terms, fans, players, everyone likes new faces. So all these players will be looking at that situation thinking, right, who can we do from there onwards? But it'll be an interesting time as a West Ham fan to see, should we do it? Carlton Cole thinks he'll stay. Julian Dix thinks he'll stay. I think he'll stay. Get your comments in. Let me know if you think he will stay as well. Moby says we need to beef up the squad. Must spend big this summer. Nail on the head, mate. Absolutely. 100 million% we do. Like I said, if you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. Hit the bell notification as well. We've got Hammers Headlines shows coming out to you every single day. This week, we've got Tony Carr coming up this evening. Wait till you see this Tony Carr show. You'll get your chance to ask him questions live. We'll bring your name up on the screen and he'll answer your questions live as well. So please make sure you do join us. We've got Everton at the weekend. We'll be doing our preview match day build-up show again with an Everton fan coming on. You've all seen him before. You'll enjoy having him on the show again. Hopefully we'll be getting you the match day live as well. I won't be going to the game, but then I'm going to the Lyon game as well. So hopefully we'll be doing some content around that when we're at the stadium. So it will be interesting. Let me jump into the comments again. Any team with Rice on it has a very good chance of winning Europa League. Absolutely. Sharky says it shows ambition. Declan will want to stay and play at the top level. Mikey, good to see you, mate. Hope you are well. Thank you for joining us. Happy Amaret's in the house. Hello, guys. I've managed to catch a live one. Brilliant. Don't worry, we're working on some content that's going to bring you some maybe evening content as well. So don't you worry about that. We need a second squad for next season. Adita saying West Ham's a very well-run club, financially healthy, recruits well, sells well, under 23s and under 18s doing well, clear progress. Financially healthy, not so sure. So recruits well, maybe in the recent times, yes, but not in all time. Sells well, not so well. Haller, Anderson lost money. So, yeah, it's not so rosy as in those terms of things. But West Ham as a whole, you know, where we are in the current circumstances is good. Oz, any new manager could sell Maguire. Would you take him at West Ham, left-sided centre-back? No. However, if there's a manager that can get the best out of a player, it's always going to be David Moyes, I'm going to say. So you never know. James Farmer says he's keeping Anderson out of the England squad. Little old West Ham. Moyes want to build around him. He'll be a club captain at the end of the season and contracts have been offered. Why leaves? Scott is saying, thanks, Anton. Have a good one. Canada's playing tonight. Have a watch of Larin, Buchanan and David. Yeah, Scott, I'm really impressed with this David, lads. We had Craig Forrest on the channel as well recently, who was talking a lot about Jonathan David, and he does look like he's a real deal. So maybe he could step into the equation, but it's going to cost mega bucks, isn't he? So we'll see. Can't see us being around top 6 next season unless we open the purse strings big time, as we need to rebuild in the summer with players in and out. But the key, Peter, and this is the thing as well, as much as I think we need 6 players, I don't think these 6 players should walk into the team. They shouldn't be first team starters, because I don't know any team that would sign 6 players and then suddenly their season just goes on to be fantastic from there. We've got a core. We've got a really strong core. And we need these players to, players take time to develop into a squad. We do need these players in. I don't doubt it for a second. But yeah, it will be see. Fabrizio Romano has apparently confirmed the 50 million bid for Rafinha, 35 million for another player. We're legit, should bode well for summer budget and reinforcing. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Records show not many youngsters come through into the first team. Absolutely, mate. But like I said, that brings an end to the show. I need to go back to work for the afternoon. I know Russ goes on a little bit longer, but I need to go back and do it. Join us at 5 p.m. for a Hammers Headline show. Hope you've enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, and comment on the channel, and we'll be back very, very soon. If you want to come and join us and be a channel member, you can by clicking the join option. When you look at the screen, there's an option that says join. It shows you the tier options. We've got mega competitions coming to you in the membership program as well, so go and check them out. Thank you for joining us, and take it easy. Come on, you irons.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate,